Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Here's my top 10 favorite dialogue movies. Yes, as I think a lot of people should know, one of my favorite things about a movie is dialogue. Yes, I love conversations and dialogue in movies, like speeches or conversations or just intriguing things people say in movies, and it's all just written beautifully. Like, good dialogue comes from amazing writing, and again, I just love dialogue movies. Usually movies that are all about just talking are some of my favorite movies of all time, and I thought I'd count down my top 10 favorite dialogue movies. And before top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are American Beauty, Birdman, Boyhood, Inglourious Basterds, Tape, The Social Network, Fargo, Miller's Crossing, and Dead Poets Society. Honestly, this honorable mentions list could have had like a million films, but those are some of the best, and they almost made my top 10 list. They missed it by a tweak, but yeah, all great movies with great dialogue, but just couldn't make the top 10 list. But what did make my top 10 was my number 10. My number 10 is one of my favorite movies of all time, Good Will Hunting. Oh my god, writing at its best. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon wrote a beautiful script for this movie. Gus Van Sant directed it so well. The acting is amazing. Stellan Skarsgård, Minnie Driver, Robin Williams, Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, Matt Damon, everyone is amazing. But the dialogue in this movie is so good. It's so great. Some people might call it pretentious. Not at all for me. It's beautiful. A lot of the things they talk about in this movie just feel so real and so emotional. That entire scene with Robin Williams at the pond talking to Matt Damon about life and stuff, if I told you about war or art and stuff, the way he talks about his life through history and these strange stories and stuff, it's absolutely beautiful writing and amazing dialogue. All the scenes with Matt Damon and Robin Williams when they're in their sessions together, again, just dialogue at its best. Such good dialogue, smart and clever dialogue, and I just love how the dialogue is used in Good Will Hunting. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's one of the best uses of dialogue in movies. Coming in number 9 is Glengarry, Glen Ross. Yes, based off a play, which I have not seen, but heard good things. This movie is all about real estate agents basically trying to get the good leads and stuff, and basically trying not to get fired, because the lowest person on the board gets fired, the highest person on the board gets a new car and stuff. Basically, they gotta close all their deals and sell some houses and stuff. And this movie is all dialogue. It all takes place during like a day and a half and stuff, and I don't want to spoil the movie if you haven't seen it yet, but like near the middle of the movie something happens, something gets stolen and stuff. Basically, it's this dramatic, very tension-filled movie. It's just such a well-written film, and usually movies based off plays have amazing dialogue, and Glengarry Glen Ross has some of the best dialogue in movies. Coming number 8 is Good Night and Good Luck. Yes, Good Night and Good Luck, written and directed by George Clooney himself, co-starring George Clooney, David Strathairn, Jeff Daniels, Trisha Clarkson, Robert Downey Jr., such an amazing cast. A very short movie, it's only about a 90-minute black and white movie, it came out in 2005. It should have won Best Picture at the Oscars, that or Brokeback Mountain or something, but yeah, fucking crash. But anyways, I digress. This movie, amazing dialogue. This movie, again, is all about talking. It's about this news studio who is rebelling against Senator McCarthy, who is accusing everybody of being a communist and stuff. This is during the 1950s and stuff, and everyone was being accused of being a communist. This was the McCarthy era and stuff, and basically McCarthy like wages war against this news studio who is just speaking their minds. They're having freedom of speech, and McCarthy's trying to take away their freedom of speech and stuff. And Edward R. Murrow, played amazingly by David Strathairn, who should have got the Oscar for this role, he stands against McCarthy and says, no, you can't do that. You're putting innocent people in jail for something they did not do and stuff. You're running this country or this state like you're a freaking dictator and stuff, and it's so well done. This movie is amazing. The climax of this movie is brilliant. The way this movie is shot, the tone of the movie feels like a classic film. Feels like you're watching an actual black and white 1950s movie, and it's so well done. The dialogue is absolutely amazing. It's clever, it's just intriguing, and very, very absorbing and entertaining from start to finish. And Good Night and Good Luck is amazing, and what else I gotta say other than good night and good luck. Coming number 7 is Midnight in Paris. Yes, Woody Allen, yes, he writes amazing dialogue. Come on, Annie Hall, Hannah and her sisters has such brilliant dialogue in those movies, but Midnight in Paris has such witty dialogue, but also very thought-provoking dialogue. The whole movie is about Owen Wilson, and he basically travels back to the 1920s when he gets drunk one night in Paris, and when he goes on these specific footsteps, he gets transported back to the 1920s where all these great famous people in Paris were all alive in, like Ernest Hemingway and the Fitzgeralds, Gertrude Stein and stuff, Pablo Picasso and stuff, and the way these people talk to each other about art and philosophy and literature and stuff, it's just amazing dialogue, and it's also incredibly funny, and Midnight in Paris is just witty dialogue, just done right, and it's all thanks to Woody Allen and his amazing writing. This movie is just fantastic. Coming number 6 is Goodfellas. Goodfellas, directed by Martin Scorsese, hands down my favorite Scorsese movie. Again, this is a mob movie. There is some brief action in the movie, but this movie is a straight crime drama film. And again, it has amazing dialogue, mostly due to its narration by Ray Liotta. The entire narration of this movie is amazing dialogue, such amazing writing. The shots in this movie are also great. The editing, the direction, the execution, the performances, everyone's fantastic in this movie, but the dialogue is great. These people talk like real mobsters. The topics they talk about, the subjects they talk about, the way they act in their mannerisms, they talk like mobsters. The dialogue feels like you're watching just like real life mobsters right there in front of you because the dialogue is just so realistic. Goodfellas is hands down one of the best dialogue movies of all time. Definitely the best dialogue in any Scorsese movie, and that's saying a lot because a lot of Scorsese movies has amazing dialogue, but Goodfellas, hands down the best. Coming number 5 is Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction, everyone knew this movie was coming, come on. This movie invented amazing, strange, bizarre dialogue. Quentin Tarantino, he's the king of dialogue. Watch Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill, Django Unchained, Glorious Bastards. This guy knows how to write dialogue. Kevin Smith was probably inspired by Quentin Tarantino. It is amazing dialogue in Pulp Fiction. The random conversations these people have that have nothing to do with the storyline, it's just amazing. It's just banter, just humans talking, because we humans just talk about random crap. So Quentin Tarantino just put a lot of scenes in this movie about people talking about random crap. Like Sam Jackson and John Travolta talking about the Royale with cheese and stuff. And Uma Thurman and John Travolta in the diner, they're just talking about like a pilot, a TV pilot and stuff. And again, John Travolta and his drug dealer, they're just talking about cars and vacation in Amsterdam and stuff. And the Christopher Walken scene with the watch, he shoved up his ass and stuff. And there's just random scenes with random dialogue that goes nowhere. But it's funny, it's interesting, it's smart, it's clever. It's dialogue done amazingly. In Quentin Tarantino, when you're watching a Tarantino movie, you know you're gonna get some amazing dialogue. And Pulp Fiction, best dialogue ever. Coming number 4 is 12 Angry Men. 12 Angry Men is about 12 angry jury members. Well, 11 angry jury members. Henry Fonda's not very angry, but basically they have to discuss a case about a guy who committed a crime. They think he murdered a person, but they're discussing it if he did it or not. And 11 jury members think he did it, but one jury member thinks that he might have not done it, and he just wants to talk about it. That's Henry Fonda. And basically the whole movie, this hour and 40-minute movie, is just about these 12 men talking about this case, and each of them have their own opinions and stuff, and everyone keeps changing their minds, like, oh, he's guilty, oh, he's not guilty and stuff, and it's an interesting courtroom movie. It's definitely one of the greatest courtroom movies of all time. Check out my top 10 favorite courtroom movies. This was number 1 with To Kill a Mockingbird, and this movie has better dialogue than To Kill a Mockingbird. Even though To Kill a Mockingbird has amazing dialogue, this movie is just all about these 12 guys discussing this case. Did this kid commit the murder? And it's awesome. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It's amazing. Amazing dialogue. Coming number 3 is The Breakfast Club. Yes, don't you forget about me. Yes, I know. Everyone's probably thinking, why The Breakfast Club? This is not like an Academy Award-winning movie for screenplay. Isn't the dialogue a bit dated and cheesy? Yes, but it works for the story. It is corny at times. It is cheesy. It is a bit dated, some of the things they say. Come on, does Barry Manilow know you raided his wardrobe? eat my shorts. Like, very dated dialogue, very dated jokes too. But it works for the story, because these are kids in the 80s. These are teenagers in the mid-1980s, basically all having detention with each other, and they're all from different cliques and stuff, and none of them really get along with each other, and they basically have to spend a whole day together, and the way they talk about each other's lives, their problems, how they connect and stuff, it's very real, very passionate, very powerful, funny, dramatic, cheesy, yes, but it's an 80s movie. It works perfectly because it's an 80s movie. People talked like this in the 1980s. We talk differently now in the year 2010s. We talk ridiculous too. We were no better. We have different slang and different jokes that we will probably not find funny or interesting 20 years from now, but that's what it is. It's the 1980s, and it's these kids talking about each other's lives, discussing that they don't want to be anything like their parents and stuff, and it's interesting, it's enjoyable, and it's very well written and very thought-provoking when you dive deeper and deeper into some of these characters like Brian and John Bender. The two characters I find the most interesting out of everybody, and I love this movie. Some people I know might not agree with me. They're probably thinking, no, this movie is cheesy and very dated dialogue. Yes, but it works for the film. Again, these are just my personal favorites, and I think the dialogue in this movie works absolutely perfectly. Coming number 2 is Casablanca. Casablanca, oh, so good. Here's looking at you, kid, and of all the gin joints in all the world, you had to walk into my place. Oh, Humphrey Bogart is amazing. Ingrid Bergman looks amazing, acts amazing. Paul Henry amazing. Claude Rains amazing. Everyone is brilliant in this movie. Michael Curtis's direction is so good. The soundtrack, the score, how sad and emotional this movie is, how romantic and deep this movie is, how smart and clever this movie is. This is one of my favorite films of all time. It is amazing. The movie it takes place during one night. Basically, he has to get a guy out of the country, but he finds out this guy, Victor Laszlo, is married to a girl he used to love. And they do occasionally flashback between Ingrid Bergman and Humphrey Bogart's relationship, but the main gist of the story is him has to get Victor Laszlo and Ingrid Bergman, Elsa, out of the country and stuff. And there's a lot of talking in this movie about the war, about what's right, about freedom and stuff, and of course about love. In this movie does it perfectly. The dialogue in this movie is perfect, especially the ending line. Louis, this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Oh, so good. It's Casablanca. Amazing. And my number 1 favorite dialogue movie is the Before Trilogy. Yes, that 3-way tie, the Before Trilogy. Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight. The greatest dialogue I have ever seen in any movie, not just romantic movie, just in any movie general. I've talked to death about this trilogy. I love it. I love it. The story of this entire trilogy is basically about a relationship between Jesse and Celine. In the first one, they meet on a train, and basically they have this connection. Basically, the whole first movie, Before Sunrise, is them talking, walking and talking, learning about each other's lives, telling jokes, having fun intellectual conversations with each other, and basically they leave each other, and they don't know if they'll see each other again. And then the second movie, Before Sunset, 9 years later, they run into each other on Jesse's book tour, and they basically do the same thing. They talk, they learn about what they've gone through from the past 9 years since they've met and stuff, what they're doing with their lives. Again, their thoughts and philosophies about things in general, about books, movies, politics. It's just a great intellectual movie, all 3 of them. Before Midnight is about them being married and stuff, and them questioning their marriage, questioning their commitment to each other and stuff, and also stuff about books, literature, philosophy, life, religion, all that stuff. All 3 of these movies are just brilliant, intellectual, dramatic romance comedy movies, and it's just amazing. Everyone knows that the Before Trilogy is one of my favorite romantic movies of all time, right there with Casablanca, and the dialogue in all these movies is just sensational. If you ever just want to watch a movie about 2 people talking, the Before Trilogy is the perfect movie for you to watch. So yeah, that was my top 10 personal favorite dialogue movies. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me what are your top 10 favorite dialogue movies. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.